Thank you for tuning in to the You Own the Experience podcast. Today we sit down with Rebeca Martinez and Justin Brandt from Ideal Personnel down here in Miami, Florida. We're going to talk about how focusing on reviews, referrals, and a really fun and engaged social media presence, they grew their business 73% last year. Remember to rate and review the show on Apple or Spotify. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's going on, everybody? It is Rob, the host of the You Own the Experience podcast, the podcast where we're going to talk about people, technology, and how they tie together to create a great people experience in the staffing and recruiting world. My guests today, actually directly from the MIA, we have Rebeca and Justin, the co-founders, CEO, and COO, respectively, of Ideal Personnel. How you guys doing? Say hello.
Doing awesome.
Hi, doing great.
All right. I am super excited to have these guys on here. Rebeca and Justin are some of my favorite people in staffing. Plus, I can take a train to their office, which makes them partly family. And the reason why I have them on is they are really forward-thinking staffing and recruiting leaders. And they really focus on, in my opinion, they've been focusing on the right things, utilizing technology correctly, really trying to figure out the best way to do things. And they pull in outside resources. They go and check out roundtables with the Vices group and the Cosniks, which is really important. But enough of me talking and building them up to you guys. Why don't we have a quick elevator pitch? Justin, I think you're going to do the elevator pitch for Ideal. And yeah, just give us that quick 2-minute intro about what Ideal is, why you founded it, and what you guys are passionate about.
Awesome. First of all, I just want to say, Robert, you are the man. I think we met, 2 years ago? So since then, you've turned into a good friend and definitely very helpful. So I appreciate you having us on. And 2020, we are so excited for this year. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary in September of 2019, and it was definitely a big accomplishment. I know many agencies don't get out of their first or 2 years before closing down, and the great thing about Rebeca and I is we never had any doubt. I was 26 at the time. Rebeca, you were?
About 24.
24. So didn't have any idea about business. Had the old story, let's go have a beer, write the business plan on a napkin idea. And basically, we loved what we did. I was more business development. Rebeca was a perfect yin yang. She was a rock star recruiter that was just running circles around every other recruiter. And we had came together and basically said, we love what we do. We're very passionate. We're young. We have the energy. Plus, we understand what works and doesn't work at an early age, and just found our passion very early on. And one of the best decisions we did in our life, aside from kids and family, is open up Ideal Personnel. We had our own vision of what values mean and how we wanted to run our business. And we now focus nationally recruiting for the healthcare field. And I love when staffing agencies say we specialize in everything, which means the complete opposite of a specialist. But for us, we do specialize in healthcare. And within healthcare, we have accounting, finance, administrative, human resources, and then obviously the clinical and non-clinical type roles. But the two industries, and we're so happy to be in healthcare, two industries, doesn't matter what's going on with the economy or recessions, are recession-proof, which is funeral homes and healthcare.
I knew you were going to say that.
There is a good reason that Rebeca and I are not in the funeral business, but it doesn't matter what the economy is. And it's a testament to the hard work that we put in, the team that we built, the culture, the values, the mission statement. Basically, we're creating entrepreneurs within the Ideal family. And we want to hire those individuals that have that ownership mentality. And we're very excited because we had started, good thing we're so young and naive. 2009, worst economic time, probably the last point in everybody's life, at least that I know, where probably didn't make a lot of sense to open up a staffing agency when people are closing down, not hiring, downsizing. And because we were naive, it actually turned out to be the best time because we developed so many relationships. And I'll leave you with this one. The one thing when people ask what separates Ideal from every other agency, aside from some of the obvious, is we built such a huge network where many of we actually did a report, 3 out of 5 of everybody we placed last year came from referrals from existing clients, managers, directors, CEOs that have friends that need help finding work. as well as we placed close to about 800 plus healthcare professionals just last year. And 3 out of 5 of our candidates that we had placed are not on job boards. They're not applying to jobs. And basically, they are passively searching. And they're unique to our network. So it's built up of candidates we place as well as clients and relationships that we have.
That's awesome. I think, can one of you guys share the stat about your Google review? I thought that was pretty cool since we're talking about referrals and also reputation management.
Well, I was going to mention with the Google reviews, just like Justin mentioned, we get tons of referrals and we get lots of our both clients and candidates that are constantly coming back to us and sharing what their thoughts are. Thankfully, Google thought of the opportunity for people to be able to go somewhere and write this down. So we've been able to be privileged enough to get a lot of our candidates and our clients share their thoughts. And I think in Miami, we're probably one of the highest ones ranked when it comes to staffing firms with Google reviews. We have about a 4.8 or a 4.9 and about 250 reviews. We're continuing to expand though our locations. So we also are growing our Google base in both Tampa and Orlando. So if you want to leave us a review, please go do that.
Yeah, Robert. One thing to add to that as well is you and I don't know if anybody that goes on Amazon and buys something without looking at the reviews, and that was kind of the mentality, is salespeople, just like the staffing industry, have a stigma that they may have an alternate goal in mind, that they're trying to either take a pay cut from us in order to help me find a job. And people are hesitant to work with a staffing firm because there's so many bad ones out there. And the reputation is not as strong until you find an agency that you trust that really has your best interest in mind. So every time a candidate we reach out to and say, we are a recruiting firm, even though this is a permanent, long-term position, it's not a temp assignment, they're hesitant. So what has helped us tremendously is they go straight to the reviews, they hear and see real names in those reviews of their own recruiter and what clients and candidates both thought about us. I think second as far as top reviews under us, I think Rebeca mentioned 260, something like that is where we're at. The next one in line is probably closer to about 20, maybe 30, if that, to give you a general idea on comparison. Who are you going to call?
You guys.
Thanks.
That's why I'm on the phone with you.
Good answer.
Look at you. So these guys are 10 years in the making. Let's get back to how you guys ask for reviews and your tech stack and what all that looks like. Let's focus on how you guys hire, what you guys looked for, what those values are, and what are you looking for in people for the internal team so that you can drive these great reviews externally, right? Which obviously just helps in general, but what did you guys look for? What did you guys do throughout the 10 years to get there?
The biggest thing we look for is a combination of drivers, people that have that entrepreneur personality, heart, that really want to develop and grow. And the second one is people that are empathetic. You can't really do what we do without being able to provide empathy to not just the candidates, but the clients together. And being able to have somebody that is wanting to grow, develop themselves, and at the same time is able to provide that empathy, we will train anything else. Those are two kind of skills that are hard to train. They have to be part of someone's DNA. The rest of the stuff that we do is very much trainable.
Got it. So empathy and some hustle.
Exactly.
So you guys look for the rock whenever you're hiring.
We definitely, and then we can just build on that.
So Dwayne Johnson is your ideal recruiter and salesperson. I like that.
We'll take them.
Did you guys see him on Oprah on the WWE tour? She's awesome, number one, but he went on tour with Oprah. I've been watching it, right? Because obviously The Rock is incredibly inspirational, but that's what he talks about all the time is I got to be the hardest worker in the room because I was broke, right? That's why his company is called $7. And he's incredibly empathetic and he strives to take it from where you are. And I think that's a key thing. And that keeps coming up in conversations with everyone that I talk to, by the way, is people have different definitions of hustle. And I think that can be very subjective. But I think empathy always is a key. And then training. Let me ask you this. I haven't asked this question before. Do you guys do any yearly training or do you have like a training methodology that you guys follow outside of just what you guys built for standard operating procedures?
Actually,
Glad you asked.
Awesome.
We just started our first class of junior business developers. We've done a lot of adjusting in 2019 to 2020 when it comes to our training. So we have our sales trainer right now sitting in our conference room with 4 new junior business developers who are not just training them about our culture and our processes, but really teaching them how to best connect with clients and how to utilize the empathy that they have to be able to grow and develop relationships with clients.
So you guys are teaching some like emotional intelligence in the actual sales training?
Definitely.
Yeah, we have a colleague that we used to work with that was helping with sales training. We actually flew him in. He arrived on Sunday and he's with all four of them pretty much every day for the next 2 weeks, learning about what makes us different. And at the end of the day, it's a hard concept to understand in sales, but everybody that we've interviewed, when we ask, what is kind of your sales process at your previous company? And all of us have been hounded by salespeople. We all hate salespeople that are pushy and pushing an agenda and, trying to just straight pitch without really understanding, do I actually need the product? Will it actually help me out? So we, at least with the sales training and same with recruiting as well, is our goal is to sell without selling, if that makes sense. And do the complete opposite of what you hate. If you're in a company and they're training you and it sounds very similar, same line, same closing, same spin techniques as what you hate, why would you think that would work on somebody else if it doesn't work on you? So it's about developing relationships. It's long-lasting relationships. And we do constant training, educating with the team in our conference room. There's a couple of really good websites that we can share later.
Yeah, we could put those in the resources.
Yeah, definitely. That we've been using that is specific to our industry and specific to recruiters, to salespeople, and it's other industry experts that have been very successful that are actually speaking into those trainings.
Another thing that we're doing here internally for those who are already part of our team, once a quarter, we're developing where we get together for book clubs. So if you've seen our social media, we talk about our book club. So we pick a book that is not specifically about staffing. It could be about how to negotiate better, or how to connect with people, how to be a better performer. These are an opportunity for us to sit together with our team and go through this book together and develop ourselves personally as well as professionally, but not specifically about recruiting or staffing.
One of the people that I follow for training is John Barrows. And one of the things he likes to say is, if you're hard selling, it's really the worst profession in the world, right? But if you're doing sales the right way, it's really one of the best. And you just get to connect with people. And if you're improving yourself, you actually have stuff to talk about. So self-improvement, training, all that stuff just makes you human, right? And also gives you stuff to talk about. So, I constantly talk about improving experiences and how to sell and using automation. And I'm just constantly trying to learn and follow people who are going to be talking about those things. So it doesn't have to be your content. It can be somebody else's content and you can just be regurgitating it like we just did, right? So definitely love it. Definitely like you guys. I would love to be invited to training and do some training with you guys and hang out.
Yeah, definitely.
Love to hear who the best people are in the staffing and recruiting world and the sales minds. I know Tom Erb, obviously, pretty closely. We work with him over at Herefish. Yeah, super interesting. So training is a big thing. And let me say this. You guys have a great social media presence. And I know you guys are constantly investing in it.
Shout out to Diane. She's a rock star.
So yeah, I've met Diane, your social media person and marketing. Maybe, I don't know if you can quantify this right now, but is there any quantifiable results that you guys saw from turning that on to the way that you guys were operating before that? And I think it was maybe not quite 2 years ago that you started doing this, a little bit stronger, maybe 18 months, but have you seen a quantifiable difference in inbound anything, whether it's just conversations or actually conversions into sales and recruiting?
We've seen a lot on two parts. On the candidate side, we are getting a lot more candidates through our social media platform than we ever did. And in a tight market, an employee market, being able to get more referrals and being able to get more people applying for our positions, it has definitely helped on that end. On the client base side, a lot of our current clients, which is fun, they're seeing us, they're being part of our growth and our environment, and it's helped and continues to develop our relationship with them. And in addition to that, of course, on LinkedIn, the more you get involved with more and more companies, they're being able to see a larger exposure of who we are. So I do get often actually from people that say, hey, your team seems really great. And where they're getting that from is social media, if they haven't really interacted much with the whole team. And I love to hear that. I love to have our office very much open to seeing the silly things that go on here, the serious things that we go through, and then on top of it, being able to share the feedback that we get, like either on Google reviews or directly from candidates that are willing to do a video and share their experience with us.
You know what happens very often in the staffing world? You ask clients that use staffing agencies and ask them, have you actually met your recruiter? How often have you met the recruiter that you talk to almost daily, email daily? How many times have you met your account manager? How many times have you met more than one person within the company? Many of them are going to say not very often, just at the beginning, but we just over the phone communicate or don't even pick up the phone. It's all email. Our success over the last couple of years has definitely accelerated. To give you a quantifiable answer, this is something we're very proud about. And if you're in the staffing world, if you're a business owner, you can see how big of a milestone this was. We sit on a round table with other CEOs, other staffing firms. They all budget game plan for 2019.
We're also part of the
FSA, Florida Staffing Association. So we have a lot of friends that are owners in the staffing world. And as we were going into 2019, figuring out how much do we want to increase, not in sales and revenue, that doesn't mean anything. It's about what you keep at the end of the day, gross profit. So everybody was in 2019 saying we want to be 10% higher in gross profit. We think we're going to flatline. We're just projected to do exactly what we did last year, maybe 20%. Rebeca and I had, and I will curse, a crazy ass goal of above 60%. We rolled it out to the team. We rolled out a game plan. We rolled out what each individual has to bring in order for the company as a whole to hit that goal. Not only did we increase in our 10th year by 60%, we increased by how much?
73%.
73% going from year 9 to year 10. And that's not sales, that's gross profit. And a lot of that is contributed to clients. We're getting a ton of referrals. The best way to recruit, the best way to do business are with people that you trust referring others. Strong believer. I think everybody believes in that. And most of our candidates are coming from referrals that no other staffing agency has access to. And then vice versa, clients, you work with people that you like. When they maybe don't get to meet all the recruiters because they're so busy in the office trying to recruit for their roles, they get to see, they feel like part of the team. They feel like part of the success, part of the growth. And that social media, the engagement, the technology that has helped with that of staying constantly in front of them is something that we can actually quantify with the results from last year. We have a very big goal this year. Probably not going to be 72%, 73%, but we are so proud of the team and definitely couldn't do it without them.
That is an awesome story. And I do know who the best dancer in your office is from social media. So, and it's definitely not you, Justin. So don't worry.
Actually, who is the best?
You are
dancer,
the best dressed.
You know?
I don't remember the name. If I saw the video, it's one of the girls.
You know, I just wear this ideal button-up shirt every day, right?
I know. I see you on social media every day wearing the button up.
But it looks good.
It looks great. You guys look good. I think I'm more of a polo guy. So a black polo, an ideal black polo would be.
Well, no, it's got to be blue, like a navy blue.
Yeah, you're more V-neck and backwards hat.
So I'll show you my new gem hat that I got. I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, look at me. A V-neck for sure. No hat today. I'm trying to be a little more professional. So someone actually said on my Automation Weekly videos, they were like, I can't believe you wear hats on those videos and post them on LinkedIn. And in my head, I was like, I think I was just wearing a hat and I recorded it. I didn't do it on purpose.
It's so unprofessional, Rob.
No, I just do it every so often. And the last hat, by the way, I was wearing was a hat from a coffee company in Houston called Coral Swords. And it has it's like Zelda's sword from back in the day video games. So this is completely unrelated to this podcast topic. So
this is the most entertaining part of the podcast for everybody.
But it's pretty informational so far. You guys are doing great. And my hats and my V-necks are on point. Okay. Tech stack, guys. How do you think about it? Investments. You could say what you use or don't use. That's okay. What do you guys think about? How do you use it? What are you trying to solve? Go.
Okay. So specifically, you're talking about texting?
No, it's just like your tech stack. So how do you think about technology, what you're using?
Okay.
What is it trying to solve? And how does it improve the people experience for your candidates, your customers, or your internal team?
Technology is a huge part of what we do here. We have put a lot of focus over the years because we know that obviously technology is going to be taking over more and more a lot of the automations and the processes that we do in our recruiting world. I don't think it's ever going to fully eliminate the human aspect of it. There's a lot of being able to connect with people that more and more as technology comes in, more and more people want that human connection connected to it. But in technology, what we are doing and what we have been doing over years is we are fully in digital interviewing. We have been doing digital interviewing for about 5 years now. So we're a little bit ahead on the game on that one. When we started doing it, people are like, what? FaceTime interview, Google Hangouts, Skype? Like, what is that? And so we walked people through that for the first few years, and now it's become very much part of our nature. We also utilize Spark Hire. So as soon as Spark Hire came out, that was something that Justin and I truly believe in. A video interviewing platform that has two parts to it. One, where you can set up questions for candidates to actually be able to video their answers. In addition to that, you're also able to do two-way interviews. So we utilize that software. Clients love it. That's still something that's developing over time because it's retraining people on how the process of interviewing goes. But I do believe that technology is only going to get stronger. We are part of Gearfish. Thanks, Rob. And we're continuing to use it. Gearfish has come in on the automation side to help out on following up with clients after somebody starts to find out how they're doing and get a gauge on how we did as a company as well as how is the employee doing. We use it on the candidate side to be able to send emails about new jobs that are opening up within their market, within their positions. And I can tell you, we send out one blast a week and we ask for referrals back with that blast. We probably get over 100 responses once a week. I mean, in a bad market where trying to find employees is very tough, getting 100 resumes just because people want to refer other people to you, huge game changer. We also use the text us portion of Gearfish, so we are texting people through there, and both on the candidates to see how they're doing, as well as getting them ready to go to work on their first day. So we utilize text a lot. And we're constantly looking to see what's the next big thing that's going to help develop either finding more clients, connecting more with candidates, with clients, and being able to provide them more communication on a day-to-day basis.
Just to tie that together, another big pet peeve that for years candidates have always expressed is I took time out of my day, I took time off work, I went to interview with the agency, I spent all this time with the agent, I filled out their application. I even went to an interview with one of their clients and nobody got back to me. I called 4 or 5 times. It's been weeks. I haven't heard from anybody. And this is where they get the bad rep of staffing agencies. They're big waste of time. They don't have my interest. They're poor at communicating. I have to call them 5 times for a recruiter to call me back. Automation has made this extremely more efficient, and the communication with them, they know. They get an email confirmation when they're scheduled for the interview. They get an email the morning of. They get an email afterwards to share their feedback on the interview and call the recruiter. Client gets an email saying, how did the interview go yesterday with so-and-so? After somebody gets placed, how the candidate's doing. More importantly, please write a Google review if you're happy. So it's just been a game changer. And I think the good thing with Rebeca and I still being fairly young for the most part, Rebeca's a little older, just kidding, is we have the energy, but the way that recruiting is going, I think I read an article that said in the next 5 years, it's going to be 80% of quote unquote the millennial or X generation that's going to be employed by most companies. So the way technology is going, people want answers quick. They want communication quick. Clients obviously want to fill jobs quickly. And right now, technology, apps, everything is the way that even we're considered, Rob, Rebeca, myself, we're considered the millennial generation where we want things quicker. We're very savvy. And I think we have an upper hand on some agencies that are either too big or been around 30, 40 years. And the people leading it may not be as savvy. So we use it to our advantage.
Like I said, you guys are great adopters of technology. And one of my favorite things is you guys paying for something and you calling me and being like, we need to use this more. Or can you do this? Like, we're paying this. We need to use this more. And I don't know why people aren't doing that more often. I know it should be the software provider's job maybe to try and be more proactive with it. But just like recruiting, we're out here trying to sell, and customer service is answering tickets that are big problems, like things not working and so on and so forth. So I love when people call me and be like, hey, I want to use this more. What ideas do you have for me? Like, tell me what you have. And I try and do that, and I'll keep doing that with Herefish. By the way, Herefish is now owned by Bullhorn. So the title of Herefish is Herefish by Bullhorn now. They are smart people by purchasing that software. So kudos to those guys. And then obviously doing that with Employee Stream and doing that with some other key providers. But you guys are doing things that there's software for, but you're doing it just as well or maybe even better. And I hate to say that, but there's software tools to do like the things like referrals and reviews. There's a staffing agency in Europe that is called Referment, and they literally built an app so that their candidates could be their recruiters for them. So they have no recruiters. They just have an app, and the app's sole job is to turn their former placed people, candidates, into recruiters. So
exactly.
Shout out to those guys. They're pretty smart too. But yeah, I think you guys really hit on a lot of really key things. And this is really why I was excited to talk to you, just to kind of reiterate that point.
I do want to say something just about you and our relationship. Probably why we clicked from the first moment we met you 2 years ago or so is we have reached out to you to ask for help, even though we were a customer at Herefish and you helped us put us in contact and help us with that technology software that's worked great for us. But if Rebeca or myself reaches out to you and says, hey, we want to see if you can help improve our team here, or I see you're doing really good videos on social media, you don't hesitate for a second. You don't go with the mindset of, well, I'm not going to get anything out of it. I am there to help you, regardless whether I financially make a sell or sell you a product or pitch you. And I think that is probably why we connect so well, because that's the same mentality we have. Everybody just has a selfish mentality. It's just part of nature. What's in it for me, everything that they do. And you, as well as our team, and what we try to spread throughout the company is how can we help them and not looking and focusing on what's in it for me. Just literally, how can I help this person, even if I don't gain anything ever? And the way that the world works is eventually those people that you're not pitching, you don't have to pitch. Like if you're good, you create relationships. So I just want to give kudos to you because you've been extremely helpful and you've never came across as trying to push something down our throat or push something on us that was not there, and you just extended your helping hand without anything in return.
Got to make a lot of deposits into the world before you can take. So keep depositing, people. Stop trying to come into everything trying to take. Go deposit, 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 because the returns come. Thank you for that, by the way.
I got an Anne Frank quote that just popped in my head, and I've never quoted anyone, especially Anne Frank. Said, I've never met somebody that went poor that gives.
Yeah, there's a lot of different types of wealth, guys.
Yeah.
All right, last question, and then we can wrap this up. So going back to where staffing is going, you guys started to talk about this with the tech stack, with that 80%, right, are going to be even faster than they are today. Like things are going to be moving faster than they are with all of us millennials and Gen Z. And there's some new gen that they just released the name of 2 days ago. I can't remember what it is. But where's it going, guys? What do you see ideal, or where do you see the industry going?
I'll let Rebecca take this one, but I do want to add something before she does is we're probably going to end up interviewing robots for jobs. Not automated, but human robots.
That sounds awful. There's
Yeah,
no,
it
where's
really
the
does.
banter going to go? We need some banter.
Go for it, Becca.
Honestly, I think videos, more and more videos. I find that being underutilized so far. And the more the younger generation is coming to, I mean, they do videos for everything. When we are texting, they're taking a video of themselves and responding to their friends. So I believe more and more video is going to be generating on the recruitment side. So if you're not yet into digital interviewing, you definitely need to get into digital interviewing. If you haven't started considering the video platform, start at least playing around with them, doing some kind of demos. I believe in the next 5 years, we're going to see a lot of recruitment, a lot of hiring decisions being done via video.
We were thinking about this years ago, and then we finally found a company that has worked well with us. But I always ask clients this: how many interviews have you been on that within the first minute or two you realize there's no way I would ever hire this person, whether it's appearance, personality, did they show up on time, whatever the case is, but now you feel bad because you set time out of your busy schedule to interview them. And the answer is thousands and thousands of hours. I can't count that much, Justin. I said, now what if you along with the resume get, and I'm doing the pitch for basically Spark Hire, but basically, what if you can get, along with the resume, a video highlighting personality that a piece of paper can't tell? And most of the time, culture fit and personality is what everybody looks for. It's probably 50-50 between that and experience. The other is personality, presentation you can get from a piece of paper. Obviously, you shouldn't discriminate, but presentation's key to your organization. And then, nice V-neck. And then the other is communication skills, right? The accent was too thick. They don't speak well. I need them to be more articulate. So personality, presentation, communication skills you can't get from a piece of paper. But if I send you a resume with a video, those things will be shown. And then you could decide if they're worth spending your time. So by the time you actually meet with them, you pretty much know a lot about this person. You know if you're going to jive with them or not. And it's increased the percentage of people that interview compared to placements. A lot fewer candidates need an interview to get placed.
Got it. Well, okay. So I made a post maybe like last week about, do people sell their tech stacks? And it sounds like you guys do. So thank you for not commenting on that LinkedIn post, because you do sell your tech stack, your video interviews. But that's awesome to hear. So guys, you should be selling your tech stack, and you should be selling not your reviews. You could be selling that referral network. Like, you should tell that story when you go to a customer. Like, I hope you do. Are you already?
Yeah. It's a differentiator.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So we definitely use it as a differentiator. We also use the technology that we are utilizing as a differentiator of our firm and our services.
So technology is a differentiator, guys, and you can be selling it in the staffing world, especially if you have statistical stories around it, right? It's really the story, but the stat actually just backs it up. And that's awesome to hear. I'm glad you guys are doing that. And it's really interesting to hear that. And then just maybe a side note, just so you guys know, Rebeca and Justin are sharing, they're doing it old school, this podcast. They're sharing one Apple headset plugged into an iPhone. And I am wearing a V-neck. So if you're not watching the video, I just want you to understand that's why they're making fun of a V-neck. But Justin and Rebeca are both wearing Ideal branded button downs. And everything that Justin wears is actually Ideal branded. So if you don't watch the video, you can kind of know what some of the inside jokes are. Justin, Rebeca, guys, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully everyone knows and can see how much fun we were having, even over the audio only. And yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
You got it, buddy. Thanks for everything.
We really appreciate you.
Thank you to our sponsors, EmployStream, Staffing Hub, and Great Recruiters.